think as an artist, you can approach viewing your old artwork a couple of different ways. As you're learning, it's easy to look back on some older pieces and be appalled at what you see as your own shortcomings. But now that I'm at a place with my artwork where I have a consistent style and quality with most of the things that I make, I don't have that strong of a reaction to my old art anymore. After all, they're all a part of my artistic journey, and now I can look back fondly on them, knowing they got me to where I am today. And while sometimes, even back then, I knew something I made wasn't the best, it still has merit because I made it, and I'm proud of it. Wait, what do you mean the Firestar Alexander Hamilton map was rehosted? Here is a little history of my involvement with the Firestar Alexander Hamilton project, or as I called in all my files, Fireham. Back in early 2016, when Hamilton was at the height of its popularity, I was friends and acquaintances with various smaller animators in the Warrior Cats community on YouTube. Hamilton maps and PMVs were popping up all over the place, and it was guaranteed that someone would make a Warrior Cats project with the titular song. It just so happened that someone I knew was the one to host it, and being friends, I was offered a part. So there I was, 16-year-old me being guaranteed a part in what would turn out to be one of the most hyped up projects this side of the internet. And oh, how I dropped the ball. Every book he can get his hands on. For the future, see him now as he stands on. So that's the dreaded Fireham. Objectively, it's not that bad, but the fact that I actually remember a lot of the process of making the original part, I know the ins and outs of why it's so lazy. I just got in TV Paint and wanted to look professional, despite the fact that my art and animation skills weren't up to par. I had no idea actually how to use TV Paint, and there's some visual errors specifically because of that. Any part where the line art is lighter than it should be, or there are transparency errors, that's specifically because I didn't know how to adjust the brush settings, or really how to use them at all. Half of the parts done in TV Paint, while some of it was finished off in Fire Alpaca. Those parts were made specifically because I wanted to hurry up and finish the damn thing, and just have the whole process over with. A project that I thought was dead and buried had been lovingly resurrected, and a month had already passed since the announcement had been made. In the year since I uploaded my part, I considered remaking it several times, but always decided against it. Fireham was dead. Dead, I tell you. In frantic rush, I started putting together sketches, planning out a redo, and joining the Discord server, hoping that the project was still far enough away from completion that I had time to put something, anything, out that wasn't my own part. And by some luck, I actually did it. Every book he can get his hands on. For the future, see him now as he stands on. And I think it came out really nice. I definitely cut some corners, but this time I did it in a smart way. Here's a breakdown of how I conceptualized the remake of my Fireham part. First, I had to identify what constraints I was working under. The biggest one was time. When I first started this remake, I didn't know how much time I would have, and if I was given the chance to redo my part, I didn't want to delay the project or risk it being posted with my old art. I make things very, very slowly, especially animation. But what I can do quickly is character illustrations. Anything with a background would also take a lot of time as well. So to maximize what I could do with this part, I would specifically draft it to play into my strengths. The part would be mostly PMV style with some tweening. The action of the part would be shown in fast-paced, flashing images, akin to an anime fight scene when the animators have a similar kind of time restriction. This would also mean I could just simply imply injuries to limit the graphic nature of the project. To cut down on the number of backgrounds I'd have to do, a majority of the scenes with backgrounds would be close-ups. And with this plan in mind, I produced my first work in progress rather quickly. It was mostly to put out there to show the hosts that I was actively working on my redo, but this meant that soon after I edited and sent it, I changed my plans around a little. I realized that even with my limitations in mind, I included a lot of superfluous scenes that not only made the part feel too busy, but only served to widen my workload. So I reworked my part into something more manageable. I was tempted to ask for help for the Tiger Star and Bloody Stone section, but I felt like it was my duty to remake this part fully on my own. Partly out of stubbornness, partly out of the satisfaction of being able to see my work years apart, side by side. Every book he can get his hands on. enjoyed this breakdown of my Firehand part. I know a lot of people have fondness for this project and would like a little peek behind the scenes. Please check out Ephemeral Moth's full version of the project. I know I dunked on the idea of rehosting the project, but honestly I find it really sweet that someone cared enough to go through the effort of rehosting it. Despite all my whining, I wouldn't have done this if I hadn't wanted to. It ended up being really fun, and I'm really proud of the work I did. Regardless, if you like this video and want to see more stuff like this, let me know in a comment, and subscribe if you like. I got plenty of other videos. And you can check out my Twitter too, since I post a lot of stuff there as well. Okay, love you, bye.